Hello, everyone. I hope traders and investors alike were green on Friday. We are going into a big week, so we do have POWELL, the FOMC rate decision, and the press conference at 2 and 2:30 on Friday. We also have options expiration week, so we know what to expect when we normally have options expiration week. We usually chop into the beginning of the week, possibly run into the end of the week. Could we also see some fears with POWELL and the market possibly pull back? So on Tuesday morning, we actually have CPI coming out at 8:30, and then Wednesday we have at 8:30 we have PPI coming out, and both of those numbers, especially PPI, the Fed actually uses in their decision making. So how much can that numbers coming out on the same day affect their decision, and how will it affect the market? Remember, it's the reaction of the market that counts. So we also have retail sales on Thursday. Uh, Christopher Waller is scheduled to speak at 7:45 a.m. on Friday. Consumer sentiment on Friday as well. Baker Hughes rig court. So we do have a little bit happening, not much on the earnings front. So let's get into some charts here, and we'll talk about things as we go through the charts. So the SPX is the SPX weekly. We did have a high close candle, which is a good sign, but we did get rejected at the 4,300. We do need to clear this 4,300 level, but we are holding this previous resistance level as support for now on the weekly chart. So that's a good sign. We have our short-term moving averages heading up, trying to follow price up. So breadth charts, we did have a down day on Thursday and Friday, but our moving average here has really pushed up. So we're going to keep a close eye on this. Breaking out of this little contraction pattern, one thing that we do know about a contraction pattern is the next phase is expansion, contraction, expansion, and trend. Every pattern actually breaks out with a contraction. That's what forms the pattern, then an expansion, then a trending phase. But these little contraction patterns can get very, very volatile for the size of their pattern to be so small. And it would be nothing for this to pull back in and snatch back before trending, have a volatile expansion phase. So I would not be surprised for the market if we have a small pullback going into Powell with these numbers coming out and the reactions of the market. The dollar forming in this little channel here looks like it wants to go into a downtrend. Could be putting in a cup and handle-ish pattern. Let's keep an eye on it. A break up above. So we had this little flag. So a break up above this area, which would have been our flagpole, a break up above that area, we will be bullish. If we break out of that little channel to the downside, we're bearish on the dollar. The VIX, we put in an all-new 52-week low last week, and it's really beat down right now. We did have a high close candle on that on Friday. So good chance we're going to see a reversal. We know going into the first trading of week, the first trading day of the week, we have been gapping up, not this past week, but the previous week before. We actually didn't on that Tuesday when the first trading day of the week was Tuesday. We didn't gap up on that Tuesday, but we went right back to that pattern last week. So once again, that's been an opportunity every single Friday going into Monday that we have noticed in the Discord to buy calls on the VIX or to play something on the VIX knowing that it's going to push up UVXY. But every single trading day of the first trading day of the week for months now, except for the 1 week previous. So we're starting to see a change. We have seen the VIX gap up and see what we get tomorrow. Being so beat down, high close candle could see a possible reversal. Crude struggling down here. Apple, we did get this nice flag break, just a very tight range candle. And we can see that on the intraday chart here, very tight range. Could draw a square on this, never got a breakout, but you can draw the square right on the entire range, looking for a breakout there. Gold, struggling. We did have an up day on Thursday, down day on Friday, struggling with those moving averages. Advanced decline lines, these are turned down. Seeing that moving average on the breath push up is a great sign. I wish I could see more in the advanced decline lines. So overall, the market does look like it wants to go up, but we are seeing some issues where, we could be trying to see a pullback. Let's keep an eye on that breath chart, what that moving average tells us. Right now, it suggests that we are having more upside. That chart has called every single move this year, so let's see what it does. AMC, we are back above the 9 here. If we can take this 20 out, we'll start looking for a move up. Got to clear that 20. Got to clear to the 9 to the downside before I'm even interested in shorting it. You can see AMD here, a nice push up on Friday, and then we got this quick reversal. This pattern, it was kind of very tower topish with a set of bearish pipe tops at the top of it. You can kind of see it's very bearish there and a move down. So you could even say, no, not really, just not textbook enough, but still, lower high moving down on the 15. Pretty obvious there that it was getting ready to come down. Amazon holding that daily 9. Chart still looks pretty constructive there. ARK down day on Friday. This thing's trying to push up, but you can see where we gapped up. You can see we gapped up this day and got snatched back down, gapped up this day and got snatched back down. Trying to continue on with its rotation, but it's, some of these names are just, struggling as assets when the market's FOMOing. They'll go after them, but as for companies, some of those companies are struggling, so they just don't come after them normally, but when they do, they come after them hard, try to squeeze certain names. And we've been seeing some squeezes here lately too, some small squeezes. AMD, nice push up, nice gap there. AMD, this is the weekly candle. We had that very non-textbook dark cloud coverage. It did not pull down far enough to be a dark cloud cover, but we did gap down last week and recovering, trying to push back up. So nice recovery there on the daily chart. Affirm or on the weekly. That was AMD's weekly. This is Affirm's daily. You see Friday and this is a dark cloud cover. You can see it gapped up, and this is what a dark cloud cover consists of. Is the bullish, we want to see a large bullish candle, and we want to see the excitement follow through the next morning. You can see it gapped up, actually pushed up with green. Then this candle come back down, went below the close, moved lower, went below the 50% mark of this previous candle, and I prefer them to be 3/4. So a very nice dark cloud cover there. So we would be expecting more downside. This has had quite a bit of volume in this move. If I took a trade here, you can take a trade here, but it's even better to be below the lowest candle in the pattern, which would be down here. But you could probably get, if you can get a short trade, probably get, if we do move down, probably get a trade down to the bottom of that candle. Look to take profits there. Amazon, big move up, very tower topish there, big move back down, flagging, pretty tight action on Friday, but it did provide some opportunities. Amazon weekly closed with a doji. Apple weekly, we do have a very spinning topish, more of a spinning top than a shooting star or a gravestone. Hangman, Boeing, pretty much the same candle. Except this is, it's the same doji, but this would be more of a bearish Rami. It's not a very bearish candle. See what it does. Had two good updates there, right into a previous resistance. You can see if we can clear this previous resistance, we should be able to start moving easier. We actually don't have as much resistance here than what we are actually for support. You can see your volume profile. These levels up here are offering more support than what they are resistance. So if we can push through that area, Boeing could make a nice move up. We need to get those moving averages up on the daily 9. BTU added by request. Coal stocks, I should have put coal on here and I didn't even think about it, but we'll get the coal chart put on here too so we can track coal. So we're testing this downtrend. If we clear this downtrend, which is where your 20 on the daily is, don't be surprised if this doesn't pull back down, sit on this 9, and then push back up. But if we clear that downtrend, we're bullish up to that 50. Got a nice MACD forming, good histogram bar, RSI is heating up. Bitcoin is trying to move lower. That 20, your weekly 20, is offering some support. And you can see here on the daily, we're getting back to the bottom of that downtrend. Boeing daily, this is the intraday chart, very, very tight action on Friday. A CBX, 2 good bullish days up, taking a break, letting those moving averages try to catch up. We'll keep an eye on energy. The communication sector flagged back into your 9, has reclaimed a 9. See if we can get a move up there. Still seeing some rotations there. XLP trading very tight. I would draw this out with a range, kind of double bottom. If you take the center level out, it could be a double bottom. But you could also see rejection here. But definitely double bottom right here. If you drew your box from this candle and put all those in, this candle would fit in perfectly. That could be a double bottom. To be a double bottom, we got to confirm and break up over that. Holding this 200 to 9, trying to curl up. MACD's changing character. Keep an eye on consumer staples this week, just in case. Cost, we've got this really nice move up. We are outside of our volume profile. We have broken major resistance in this area. We're above that area, a lot less resistance, expecting a move up. Nine's coming up on a daily, a bullish above that bullish engulfing candle right here. We got to be above that strong bullish candle, and I'm bullish. Still got a decent MACD there. DraftKings still grinding higher. It's been a very nice chart since we added it. DDOG, so contraction. You can see all these candles traded within that candle. Contraction phase, starting the expansion phase. Big gap up, snatch back down, trying to recover and push back up. Come back down and tested the center of that pattern. Let's see if we can continue to see upside. Bullish above the 20, but if we break below the bottom of this pattern, I'm bearish. MACD has turned bearish there as well. Lilly still trying to push up, a small red day on Friday. XLE Energy, same thing as CVX. Two strong up days there, very strong up days, and two down days. Kind of waiting on the 9 to catch up. Got to clear that daily 50, then watch the daily 200 up there. Google, this was a small ascending triangle, started the breakout, which is the expansion phase, and this works the same thing. Contraction, expansion, trend works the same thing with every pattern, except this thing shot right back down, broke right back below the 9 and 20. I'm bearish below this 20 for a move lower. Would like to break below the low of this pattern here first. That's your support level. We can get below the lowest part of that pattern. I'm looking for a move down on Google. IWM intraday pretty tight on Friday. It did move lower. The Qs still trading in this tight range right now. A very small bullish Rami on Friday. Looking to break out of that range. Draw that range. We break below that range to the downside. We're bearish. Take that range to the upside out. We're bullish. Qs, very strong move. And then we had a big snatch back at the end of the day. Very nice reversal there, heading back up. Qs on the weekly. So last week we did have a small hangman candle up here. So it's not super bearish. You can see this candle gapped up. They brought it all the way back down, and the buyers took it all the way back up and closed it. This week we had, or I should say last week, the previous week, and then last week we had a very tight long-legged doji, but it's back inside the Bollinger Bands. Still hard to be super bearish on that chart, even with that little hangman up there. If the hangman was red, that would be more bearish, but where the buyers were able to close that for a high close candle, it's not a very bearish candle. Now, Mara still watching that rectangle, a breakout of that range, looking for a move. It's probably going to make a big move when it breaks out. So you got Merck here. So right now it's looking like a very double bottomish pattern. But to confirm that double bottom, you got to take out the peak of between so you can start to see the W putting in. So we can keep an eye on Merck, watching for a W pattern, double bottomish W pattern to be put in there. We got to take that peak out. Meta breaking below the 9, still getting high closed candles there. It definitely does not want to come down. Meta intraday, you can see the big push at open, rejection at that 200, and then drifted back. Held in well compared to a lot of other stocks. Microsoft, in between the 9 and 20, would like to see it get out of that one way or the other. But back above that 9, I could remain bullish. Below that 20, remain bearish. I would not be surprised for a lot of stuff to pull in this week because of options expiration. We know tight, very choppy, tight days, first, second day of the month. Coming in, PPI, the market, depending on what that number is going to be, they could pull the market back before Powell. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not talking about an all new low, just talking about a simple pullback, maybe to the 9 or something like that. Maybe we can go down and test that gap. Hopefully the market won't do that, but it's a very real possibility we need to be aware of. You can see Microsoft on the 15-minute chart there, trading in a very tight symmetrical triangle. Microsoft on the weekly, getting a very evening starish pattern up here. I hate it when this right candle is so much smaller than the left candle. I would love it when this candle is a strong candle. Still a bearish, so breaking below, I need to be at least below that wick. But textbook says we got to break below this candle body. I would like to be down here before I try to short it below the wicks. I know those candles stopped there for a reason. So Nvidia. Still got this big gap here. Another chart holding in very well. Watch that MACD. Starting to see your goose head. We could be heading for a move up soon. It could easily break down too. Nvidia, nice push up here at open. Just being a little aware before we make too many calls going into POWELL. So in the video here on the weekly, trying to get back into the Bollinger Bands. Looks a little bearish up here, but there's candles held in well. Trying to let some moving averages catch up. It made a huge move. Takes time to digest those moves. The Nasdaq, this is a beautiful chart. Bullish above these areas. Take those wicks out, even more bullish. You can see the volume profile is lightening up here. We're getting back into some thicker stuff, and that's coming in with this little sideways contraction action. If we can clear that, look for a move up. Got a good MACD there. Netflix still got a gap below. Got an island candle up here. We'll watch for that gap to be filled, see what happens tomorrow. We got a good MACD there as well. The Qs holding that 61.8% fib level on the monthly chart. So we're getting very close. Something I really wanted to point out, getting very close to a cup and handle. That's why we did the cup short, just to kind of bring that out and point out that we do not need a handle. But so we are getting our U shape. So we definitely do not have to put in a handle, but we could. Getting very close to some levels here, we could easily come up, test these levels, pull back, put in a handle, which is nothing more than a higher low. We usually only expect to pull back about 30% if we do put in a handle, but we're getting very close to that action here on Q's monthly chart. Roblex, you can see this action's breaking down, stuck in between some moving averages there. Not a very nice looking chart. SPX, you can see the contraction pattern broken to the upside. Definitely not the nice contraction pattern. It's not super straight there, but breaking up above this level. This candle closed above that level. So we did have a low close candle on Friday. The market's holding in well here. SoFi, so this candle is definitely it's a shooting star. It's got a little more wick on it than we would like to see, but it's definitely bearish. Keep an eye on this name. It is back into the Bollinger Bands after being out for several days. That was a really good call. Anybody who made any money there, congratulations. I know somebody made a comment, so congratulations if you're still holding that. If you're looking to take profits and looking to get back in, keep an eye out for that date. Diamond had this inverted H sell pattern. So this is an H buy pattern. You can see the lowercase h, except it's upside down. Confirm, small push would have made a nice scalpable move there. Looks like it wants to go higher. On the weekly chart, we had this bullish engulfing candle, and then got this little hammer candle on the 9. I know a hammer candle is not supposed to be an uptrend, but it's what it is. SPY weekly, nice push here above resistance. You can see we have a nice bar. We pushed up through this area here where the volume profile lightened up a little bit. We have a heavy bar we need to push through up here. If we can clear that, it's going to be a little bit better, some smooth sailing up there. Hopefully we can get to price discovery, but I'm not claiming all new low or all new highs or anything, but it would be nice to have to get back to the price discovery mode. SPY pushing up here as well. It's not as perfect of a cup. It's more of a V bottom pushing higher, but we are holding. We did close above that 61.8% level there, and you can see how the volume profile is lightened up here as well. So volume is a little lighter, should see a little less resistance. SPY daily, here's that same, we closed up above, and then we had this very shooting starish candle on Friday. The candle was a low close candle, but really couldn't do much with it. Pretty even battle there. SPY intraday 15-minute, nice push up. You can see your lower high right here. We did a video on Friday's action. You can see the lower high right here on the 15 as well. Square into the daily 200, seeing rejection there. CRM back above your 9. That one's worth keeping an eye on. That would have made a great passive income chart. Shop, nice move here as well. So all this happened on expanding volume, back above your moving averages. Keep an eye on this one, bullish up above these levels, but it has to clear those levels. But it's trying. Tesla, pretty tight day on Friday. XLK, you can kind of see this tabletop action up here. This level right here needs to be cleared to move higher. Tesla weekly, just an awesome push here all week long. We were bullish. We were bullish when we were pushing up through this 50, but especially after getting confirmation last week, just an awesome move. Super bullish on it. Very nice move. Anybody who called any of that, congratulations. Uber, bullish on this chart this week. Coming in, transportation's been perking up, been trying to look strong. We're trading in this tight contraction zone. This one's a little different. It's trading in this tight range. It's more of a range break. It's not really a contraction, but definitely some tight price action in there. So it's contracting. Breaking back up, we come back, have retested the center of the pattern. Contraction, retesting the center, breakout, retest the center, moving averages, candle close. Let's look for a move higher on Uber this week. So Walmart, we were watching these three green crows last week. We had a nice move up off of that and was able, after the moving averages caught up, we were able to push higher. Nice move on Walmart. The banks are perking up here. I do like Citibank, Goldman Sachs. We didn't add them, just too much to cover. Trying to shorten the videos up now, but some of them are perking up. You can see this double bottomish move down here. Not counting that candle, kind of ruined it, but double bottomish move pushing up. Candles contracting here, waiting on the nine to catch up. Let's keep an eye on banks this week. A TLT, very tight, very symmetrical triangle-ish there, very tight action. IWM, we talked about that little foot pattern we had there. Not going to spend any time on that. This is not a cup and handle. Please don't call that a cup and handle. That's not a cup and handle. Nice push up right into some resistance. See, we did close over it, but we got pulled back. Looks like a small gap here has been filled. Nines coming up. Keep a close eye on IWM this week as well. And our put to call ratio is at 84. You can see it's back into the neutral zone again. Actually, we're back into the bullish zone. I'm sorry. But you can see how this chart has just trended right down. You can see the bullishness. Down here is bullish, up here is bearish. And you can see how we've just drifted right down for the past 3-4 months as the market's easing into more bullish territory. The oscillators for the NASDAQ are positive 82, and for the New York Stock Exchange, positive 84. Please remember, discipline is the key to your success in trading. I hope you find this helpful, and I'll see you in the trading room.